And good afternoon, Kurt Berglund here with another Strat game, continuing the series, the Gem series, a series of series, if that's the term I'm looking for, of series between great recent Stratomatic teams, 70s and 80s, that I'll be doing. These are best of three series, so it's intense right from the first pitch. And we're going to try and see which of these teams has the most staying power, which of these teams are the most impressive. I'm starting out with some battles that I think need to take place. The first one is the 83 White Sox against the 84 Cubs. Yesterday we played game one of that series. It was Lamar Hoyt for the White Sox against Rick Sutcliffe of the Cubs. And Hoyt came out the winner in a 3-2 ball game that was tight the whole way. We had three lead changes in the game, and it was a tough ball game. 3 errors were committed, leading to one lineup change today. And, of course, we started in Comiskey Park yesterday. Today we go to Wrigley Field for Game 2, and that'll be interesting as well, since the White Sox were a team that relied on the DH in 1983 and the production from their cleanup hitter, Greg Luzinski. Well, they lose the DH today, but they don't lose Luzinski, and we're going to go through the lineups right now. The pitching matchups for today: Richard Dotson, a 22-game winner for the White Sox in 1983. He had an ERA of 3.23, pretty much understood as their number 2 starter. Dotson will be the game 2 starter for the Chicago White Sox. On the mound for the home-standing Chicago Cubs will be left-hander Steve Trout, just as he did in the 1984 playoff series. He's got Game 2 of this one as well. Scott Sanderson and Dennis Eckersley are the long men. The Cubs know that there's no tomorrow because the Sox won Game 1 yesterday. And so the Sox can win the series today with a win over Trout. The lineups, and kind of interesting, couple of changes or a couple of adjustments today for the White Sox. Leading off in center field is Rudy Law. Batting second and doing the catching is Carlton Fisk. Batting third in right field, Tom Paciorek had 3 hits yesterday, including a homer. Batting fourth at first base is Greg Luzinski. Batting fifth at left field is Ron Kittle. Batting sixth at third base is Vance Law. Due to some shaky play, by Scott Fletcher yesterday, shortstop today, Jerry Dubzinski. And batting eighth is second baseman Julio Cruz, big part of the Sox offense when he gets on base and can run. Batting ninth will be pitcher Rich Dotson. For the Cubs, very familiar lineup. Bobby Dernier leads off in center field. Batting second, Ryan Sandberg at second base. Batting third will be Gary Matthews in left field. Batting fourth will be Keith Moreland in right field. Batting fifth will be Leon Durham at first base. Batting sixth will be Ron Say at third base. Batting seventh will be Jody Davis behind the plate. And batting eighth will be Larry Boa at shortstop. Batting ninth will be Trout on the mound. We're ready to go. Every pitch is big. Cubs got to win it to stay alive. In this best-of-3 series, Rudy Law steps in at Wrigley against Steve Trout. And Law hits a bouncer to Durham, and he's going to make the play unassisted for the first out of the ball game. Fisk steps in, and he takes a called third strike on the outside corner from Trout, and that's 2 down. And here comes Tom Paciorek, the offensive star for the White Sox yesterday. He hits a fly ball to center, but not too deep. Dernier's going to take it in his tracks, and it's a 1-2-3 first inning for the White Sox. Bobby Dernier leads off in the bottom of the first, and it's going to be Dotson to face Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews. And it's a ground ball to shortstop. That's Dubzinski. The Dibber is, don't tell me, he's an E26. Okay, and let's see, he throws and he gets his man Dernier at first base. One down for the Cubs in the bottom of the first. Ryan Sandberg hits a line shot right at Law. Vance Law, 2 down, and Matthews, the Sarge, hits a long drive that's way back, and it's going to rattle off the wall. It's going to be a double before Kittle can run it down. He's on second base with a chance to score the Cubs' first run. Moreland. And Moreland delivers with a base hit. This one's down the line. Kittle's going to chase it into the corner. By the time he digs it out, Keith Moreland's on second base, and the Cubs have a 1-0 lead. Listen to the crowd. Okay, Leon Durham with 2 outs and a man in scoring position against Dotson, and Durham lines a base hit to right center. That's going to score Moreland, who was running with 2 outs all the way, and the Cubs lead 2-0. Ron Say, 2 outs. Durham on first, and Say swings and misses at a Dotson fastball, and that retires the side, but the Cubs jump out front to a 2-0 lead at home here in Game 2 against the White Sox. Luzinski steps in against Trout and draws a walk, and the big man ambles to first base. Ron Kittle steps in. Kitty swings and misses at a Trout changeup. That's 1 down. And Vance Law steps in. Luzinski's going nowhere on first base. Law swings at a Trout offering and lines it down the line. It's a base hit. It's past Say and into the corner. Sarge has to go get it. That'll mean Luzinski goes all the way to third. And it's second and third with 1 out for the White Sox. Jerry Dibzinski with a chance to put the Sox on the board. The pitch from Trout to Dibzinski is a fly ball to center field. That's Dernier. Luzinski tagging, but holds. And that's, yeah, he's going to hold. And that brings up Julio Cruz with 2 outs. Trout could walk him with first base open, but they're going to pitch to him. And Cruz strikes out, called third, strike 3. And Trout's through 2 innings with no damage. Cubs 2, Sox nothing after 1.5. Jody Davis against Rich Dotson. And Davis lines a single. Look at them taking shots at Dotson early in this one. Boa steps in. Larry Boa against Dotson. The pitch is a fly ball to center. That's a dying quail. Is Rudy Law going to get there? No, he's not. It drops in. And Law is an E3. That's a 16. And Law boots it. So we've got a single. That's going to send Davis all the way to third. And then Law boots it for a 2-base error. Boa's going to go all the way to third, and that's going to bring Jody Davis home with the Cubs' 3rd run. Steve Trout steps in. The Sox are going to play in at the corners. There's nobody out, and Larry Boa is on third. Trout squares around. Then he brings the bat back. Whoa, we got a potential wild pitch. Not a wild pitch. The pitch to Trout is a line base hit, and that's going to score Boa with the Cubs' 4th run. Look at Trout run, and I mean that in a good way. Trout's going to get all the way to second base, and that's going to start action in the Sox bullpen. Dick Tidrow and Jerry Koosman are throwing in the Sox bullpen. quickly, trying to get ready. Trout's on second base. The Cubs have 2 runs in. Bobby Dernier is up. Trout's on second. And Dernier hits a line shot, but it's caught by Law. It's a rope, but Law makes the catch. Vance Law, first out of the inning. Ryan Sandberg with a man on second. One down. The pitch to Rhino is a balk chance. No. They keep the 2, and the roll is a base hit. A broken bat, and that'll stop Trout at third. First and third for the Cubs. First and third for the Cubs. Dernier is the only man out in the inning. First and third, Trout's on third, Sandberg's on first. What do they want to do now? They're gonna have Dotson pitch to Matthews. Sandberg's trying to get the jump. He gets it. The throw is not in time. Sandberg steals second. The Cubs have runners at second and third. For Matthews, the infield is in at the corners. It's 4-0 Cubs. There's 1 man out. The pitch is a wild pitch chance. Dotson's control has left him. The pitch to Sarge is a base hit. 1 in. Trout scores. Sandberg's being waved around third. The throw is not in time. Sandberg scores. Matthews stays at first. And it's 6-0 Cubs. That's going to do it for Dotson. The Cubs knocked Dotson out of the box. It's 6-0 Cubs. And it's going to be Jerry Koosman getting the nod. Well, no, it's not. It's going to be Dick Tidrow. Dick Tidrow getting the nod. He'll be batting in the 9th spot in the order. Interesting to see if they'll pinch hit for him next inning. Moreland comes to the plate. There's 1 out. Gary Matthews is on second base. Tidrow to the belt, and the pitch to Moreland is a line drive at Dybzinski, who leaps and makes the catch. There's 2 outs. Durham is up. Durham is up against Tidrow. The pitch to Leon is a comebacker at dirt, and Tidrow throws to first. And that retires the side, but not before the Cubs add 4 to their run total. And we go to the top of the third, and the Cubs are leading 6-0. Trout is back on the hill for the Cubs. The pinch hitter for the White Sox will be... Who's the pinch hitter going to be? It's going to be Jerry Hairston. And Hairston bats for Tidrow, leading off the third. Koosman's still warming in the Sox bullpen. He will be the next pitcher in all likelihood. The pitch to Hairston is a called third strike. Wow. Trout has it going today. 1 down. Rudy Law against Trout. Lines a base hit up the middle. Law is aboard. But with the Sox down 6 runs, they will hold Law, but he's not going anywhere. Fisk is coming to the plate. There's 1 man out. Law is on first, and Carlton draws a walk. 2 on now with 1 out, and Tom Paciorek, yesterday's offensive hero for the White Sox, can certainly do some damage here against Trout. The pitch to Paciorek is a ground ball to short. That's Boa, Sandberg, Durham, And that's an inning-ending double play for the White Sox. We go to the bottom of the third, and Jerry Koosman takes the hill for the White Sox. He will face Say, Davis, and Boa, and bat ninth in the order. Jerry Koosman, the long man for the White Sox in this series, or at least one of them. Ground ball second, that's Juice Cruz. Julio makes the throw to Luzinski, and Luzinski grabs it for the out. So there's one down in the bottom of the third. Jody Davis. Cubs lead 6-0. We're in the bottom of the third with one out. It's another hit to Cruz. And Cruz throws him out. That's two down. And Larry Boa steps in against Koosman. And Boa hits a ground ball to third. That is Vance Law. Vance Law gloves it and throws across to Luzinski, and that retires the side in the third. Cubs are held scoreless for the first time in this game. They are in front 6-0. Luzinski wants to get things going for the White Sox. He's their first baseman today. And he hits a ball line shot off Trout's glove. And look at Luzinski lumber down the line. He's going to be safe with, of all things, for Greg Luzinski, an infield hit. One man on, nobody out for Ron Kittle. Kittle, against Trout, hits a deep drive way back, and that one is... Don't tell me. Where is it? That one is caught next to the ivy by Gary Matthews for one down. Okay, so there's one man out. Luzinski returns to first base, and Vance Law steps in against Steve Trout. The pitch to Vance is hit for extra bases. That one's going to roll all the way to the wall down the right field line. Law is on with his second hit of the game, and Luzinski's going to make it all the way around the bases to score from first on a triple by Law. It's 6-1, and the White Sox have something cooking. Law's on third. Dubzinski steps in. He swings, and it's a chance for Jody Davis. Jody Davis. E5 on a 14 is not an error, and a 10... and a 2 is a PF. That could be trouble. Okay. Not a pass ball. So it's a pop out to the catcher. Dubzinski fouls out to Jody Davis, and it's Julio Cruz. There's two outs. Vance Law's on third base, and Jerry Koosman is due, but La Russa's not going to let Koosman bat. So he settles for 1 inning out of Koosman. And we'll send Mark Hill to the plate. Mark Hill to the plate? Oh, boy. They're going to send Harold Baines to the plate to pinch hit for Koosman and try and deliver that second run of the ball game for the White Sox. Baines steps to the plate, hitting for Koosman, who pitched a 1 perfect inning. The pitch to Baines is a strikeout. He swings and misses at a Trout offering, and the Sox settle for 1 run in the 4th. And they lose Baines, and they lose their long reliever in the person of Jerry Koosman. So Britt Burns, their 4th starter, is going to be the new pitcher for the White Sox in the bottom of the 4th. Steve Trout will lead off. The Sox trail 6-1 in this one. The pitch to Trout is a ground ball to Dibzinski. Dibzinski throws across to first base, and that one is an out. 1 down in the 4th for the Cubs. Dernier steps in against Britt Burns. That means Floyd Bannister will be pitching tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow, for the White Sox. The pitch is a shot at Luzinski, and he can't come close to laying a glove on it. But he's also brutal in the error department. He doesn't make one on this play. It's a base hit for Dernier. The Cubs lead 6-0. Sandberg steps in. There's 1 out. Dernier's on first. And he's going to try for the jump. He doesn't get it. And so Sandberg swings away. Fly ball to left field. That's going to be Kittle back a few steps. And he makes the play for out number 2. Matthews with 2 outs and Dernier on first. Swings at the Burns offering, and he hits a grounder to short. That's Dibzinski charging, fielding, and throwing, and that retires the side in the 4th. We go to the 5th with the Cubs leading 6-1 in this elimination game for them. They're doing okay. Rudy Law leads off, top of the Sox order. Is a fly ball to left, and that's Gary Matthews, and now we've hit the Cubs' Achilles heel, and that is their outfield defense. That would be an 11, so we have an E14 with an 11. He doesn't boot it, but it is dropping in for a base hit. Rudy Law is aboard with a single, and Carlton Fisk steps in. Nobody out in the 5th. Rudy Law on first with his second hit of the game, and it's a ground ball to short. That's Boa. Sandberg. Sandberg, and Durham. Double play eliminates the Sox base runner. There's now 2 outs in the Sox 5th. Pachorik is 0 for 2 today. And he hits a ground ball to Sandberg. Rhino throws on to first base, and that retires the Sox in the 5th. The Cubs still lead after 4.5, 6-1. Britt Burns back on the mound for the Sox against Keith Moreland. Moreland lifts one to right. That's Pachorik. And that's not who the Sox want to have making that play. It is a E4. That's a 4. And it's a 1-base error. And it's a hit. A 1-base error, a single, and a 1-base error by Pachorik puts Moreland on second base with nobody out. Leon Durham against Burns. He hits a ground ball to second. That's going to move Moreland to third. With one out, Say steps in. Sox infield is going to play in all around, try and cut off the run. And the pitch to Say is a ground ball to first. That's by Luzinski. The decision to play Luzinski at first is not working out. E25, that will be not an error, but it is a single for Say that scores Moreland from third. It got past Luzinski, and now Jody Davis steps in against Burns. It's 7-1 Cubs. Davis draws a walk. There's 2 on for Larry Boa. Boa steps in against Burns. Fly ball to center. That's Rudy Law. And Rudy's going to make the catch. But Say bluffs a tag and does hold at second base. That's going to bring Trout up with 2 outs and 2 on. Trout is 1 for 2 with a double, a ribby, and a run scored. And he strikes out on this one against Burns. So Burns allows 1 run in the 5th. It's 7-1 Cubs. Sox need to start hitting, and here comes the man who's been victimized at first base, Greg Luzinski. It'll be Luzinski, Kittle, and Vanslaw here against the Cubs. Ground ball to short. That's Boa with all day to throw Luzinski out, and he does it. Kittle with 1 out in the 6th. And Ron hits a ground ball to short. This one's to Boa's left. He throws to Durham, and that's 2 down. And now Vanslaw. And Vance pops it up. This is Boa. Going to tie a record held by many. And that is 3 outs for the Sox in the 6th. And the Cubs still lead 7-1. Britt Burns in the 6th. Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews lead off. And Dernier strikes out against a Burns fastball. Sandberg. And Rhino lines a base hit. That's going to be extra bases. That's down the right field line. Pachorik will never get him at second. And the Cubs have a man in scoring position. 1 out, 1 on from the Sarge, Gary Matthews. That's a ground ball to Dibzinski. The Dibber's going to throw to first. And it's in the dirt. Luzinski cannot dig it out. It's an error on Dibzinski. And the Cubs have men at first and third with 1 out. That's going to get the Sox bullpen going again. It's going to be Augusto. Yeah, it's going to be Juan Augusto warming up. And Moreland at the plate. Sox infield is in at the corners. Moreland is 2 for 3 with a double, 2 runs scored, and a ribby. And this one is a fly ball to left. That's going to be Kittle. Sandberg is going to challenge his arm. The throw is coming home. And it's not in time. Sandberg scores on a Moreland sacrifice fly. It's 8-1 Cubs. Durham steps in, the left-handed batter, facing Burns, the left-handed pitcher, and he strikes out for out number 3. But the Cubs, wow, they had another one. It's 8-1 Cubs as we go to the top of the 7th. Steve Trout facing Dibzinski, leading off the 7th. The pitch to Jerry is a line shot, base hit. Dibzinski's on. Julio Cruz batting second in the inning with Dibzinski on first. Hits a fly ball to center. Dernier's coming in, and he'll make the play. and that's 2 down. Rudy Law, nope, I'm wrong. Britt Burns is due. They're going to have to pinch hit for him. And it's going to be Pooter, Mark Hill, batting for Burns in the 7th with 1 out and 1 man on. Mark Hill. The pitch from Trout is a strikeout, a called third on Hill, and that's 2 down. Now it's Rudy Law with 2 outs and a man on first. Sox can't get it going, but Law can. It's a base hit to left. That's going to make Dubzinski stop at second, and there's 2 outs and 2 on for Fisk. Cubs are quickly going to get some action going in their bullpen. It'll be Stoddard warming up for the Cubs, and Fisk stepping in for the White Sox with 2 on and 2 outs. Fisk is 0 for 2 today. He walked as well. And the pitch to Carlton is a pop-up, and that'll be to shortstop Larry Boa, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 7th with the Cubs leading by the score of 8-1. The new Sox pitcher is going to be Juan Augusto. He'll face Say, Davis, and Boa, and bat in the 9th spot in the order. Ron Say steps in against the lefty Juan Augusto. The pitch to Say is a ground ball to 3rd. That's Vance Law. Vance Law makes the play to first, and that's 1 down for the Cubs. 1 for 2 is Jody Davis. He drew a walk as well. He has also scored a run. Ground ball to 2nd. That's Cruz. Cruz has it on a hop, and he throws to Luzinski for 2 outs. And now Boa. Boa swings and misses at an Augusto breaking pitch, and that's 3 outs. But Augusto pitches a 1-2-3 7th. Probably more as a tune-up for tomorrow than anything else, as the Sox come to bat in the 8th. They trail 8-1. Tom Paciorek leading off against Steve Trout. Tim Stoddard throwing casually in the bullpen. Paciorek is 0 for 3 on the day. Fly ball to center field. That's going to drive Dernier back, but it's nothing he can't handle. It's 1 down in the top of the 8th, and now we have Luzinski. And the Bull hits one a little deeper to Dernier in center field, but he's going to make the play on this one, and that's 2 down. And Ron Kittle comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. And Trout is in command of this game. That's a line drive, and that is caught by Say. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Cubs lead 8-1. Trout due up in the bottom of the 8th to lead off. But before we get there, Juan Augusto is going to be removed. And the new pitcher will be Dennis Lamp. And he's on in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch to Lamp, or from Lamp, will be, or to pinch hit for Trout, will be, to pinch hit for Trout will be Jay Johnstone. Left-handed pinch hitter for the 84 Cubs. And Jay will pinch hit. That's going to call it a day for Trout. Trout went 8 innings, allowed 6 hits. He walked 3 men, and he struck out 2, 4, 5, 6 men, and allowed 1 run. It was earned. That's the line on Trout. Johnstone steps in to lead off the bottom of the 8th against Lamp. and he lines a base hit right up the middle. Johnstone's aboard with a single, and it's Dernier coming to bat for the Cubs. Dernier against Lamp. Dernier against Lamp. He hits a ground ball to short. That's Dibzinski. Dibzinski to Cruz, and Cruz to Luzinski, and that retires Dernier and Johnstone in one shot. Sandberg is 2 for 4 today. He steps in against Lamp and lines a base hit. 3 for 5 for Rhino. And the Sarge steps in. Matthews draws a walk. That's 2 on and 2 outs for Moreland against Lamp. The pitch to Keith is a ground ball to third. No, we have... What do we have? We have a balk chance. That's not a balk chance. Lamp doesn't balk. So we have a re-swing from Moreland, and he drives it to left and deep and gone. A 3-run bomb for Moreland. A 3-run home run for Keith Moreland. And that'll score Sandberg and Matthews ahead of him, and the Cubs now lead 11-1. Leon Durham against a very sheepish-looking Dennis Lamp, who allows a double to Durham. And Say steps in. The pitch to Ron is a fly ball to center, and that's going to be Rudy Law, and he'll make the play. But the 84 Cubs have added 3 more and now lead the 83 White Sox by the crushing total of 11-1. We're going to have a few changes now for the Cubs. On defense, which seems a little silly, but they're doing it anyway. Gary Woods is going to go in to play left field for Matthews. Henry Cotto will go in to play right field for Moreland. And the new pitcher will be Tim Stoddard to try and finish this one up for the Cubs. If you're scoring at home, and you might well be, it'll be Woods batting third and Cotto batting fourth, as Moreland and Woods are now out of the game. That improves the Cub outfield defense dramatically. And we go to the ninth, and it'll be Vance Law, Jerry Dibzinski, and Julio Cruz for the White Sox. We need a 10 spot to try and get back in this one. Nice start for Vance Law. He's got 3 hits on the day, and he just singled off Stoddard. And there's 1 on. Dibzinski. And Jerry draws a walk. 2 outs, or nobody out, 2 on, and Warren Brewster is going to start warming, and so is George Frazier in the Cub bullpen. Julio Cruz, 0 for 2 with a walk today, and he hits a ground ball to Sandberg. Sandberg to Boa, Boa to Durham, and that's a double play. And we're down to maybe the White Sox last chance. It's going to be Greg Walker batting for Dennis Lamp with Vance Law on third base. Walker batting for Lamp. Try and knock in a run for pride. And the pitch to Greg is a fly ball to center, and that's going to be Dernier moving a few steps to his left. He will make the play for the third out and end this ball game. It is Cubs, the 84 Cubs 11, the 83 Sox 1. And let's look at the line score. For the 84 Cubs, they scored 11 runs on 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16 hits 16 hits for the Cubs and no errors. For the White Sox, they scored 1 run on 2, 4, 6, 8 hits, and they committed 1, 2, 3 errors that you can score, but Luzinski let a few get by him as well. So perhaps a questionable strategy by 83 White Sox manager Tony La Russa in giving Luzinski the start at first base backfires, but the Sox pitching probably wasn't up to the task today anyway. The winning pitcher in this one is Trout. He goes to 1-0 on the series, and of course Richard Dotson is the loser. He goes to 0-1. Tomorrow we revert back to Comiskey Park, and at Comiskey Park the pitchers will be, for the visiting Cubs, Dennis Eckersley, the right-hander, against Floyd Bannister, the left-hander for the 83 White Sox. I hope you'll join us. Please click like and subscribe. It all comes down to tomorrow's game. Winner take all. Each team has won 1 game in the series, and these are best-of-3 contests. So we'll see who's got it tomorrow, the White Sox or the Cubs. Hope you'll join us. Please click like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day. So long, everybody.